All right, guys, we're back out with the KRATON V6. I have made some changes for you guys who have been following, watching, asking. I did the adapter mod to the back of the chassis here where it goes to the tower. On my last video, I covered what I did and how I did it. I did also change the chassis to a Vidavon red chassis here. I'm not sure that this makes a difference. I'm not even expecting this to make a difference, really. I just wanted to throw that on there because I like the way it looked and I wanted to try one since I've never tried their chassis. And then I changed the split tower to center diff braces to the KRC ones that are just full aluminum. So those are pretty much the changes. I think we're going to run it without the body because this is about trying to figure out whether or not this rear tower chassis brace here will fix the issue with the chassis bending. So let's get to it. All right. Oh my God. I forgot how violent that is. Let's go, baby. Oh my God, oh my God. Settle down, KRATON, settle down. It's all right, we're gonna get there. There we go. Woo! 150 feet right off the rip, bro. Car landed here. There's a 150 foot mark flag right there. So 100%. We're getting out there, man. Woo! Nice. Wow, dude. 150 again. Let's go, baby. Ooh, we landed in front of the, where's the third flag at? Did I take it out? I think I took out the flag. Oh, no, it's right there. No, yeah, so check it out. We landed, here's the 150 foot flag right here. And we landed over here, somewhere in this vicinity. So we're doing over 150 feet. Woo! Oh, there goes the arm. Wow, I heard the I heard the dog bone fling out too. Oh, there it is. I landed rear end first. That was my fault because I landed really hard on the back, and that might have been the arm that is the arm that's been there since forever. So let's go fix that. Come on, there we go. Ooh, I kind of shaved the ramp a little bit on that one. Ooh, nice landing. Hell yeah, let's go, baby. Woo! Ooh! Oh, that was nuts. Oh, let's go, baby. Nice. Let's go. Woo! That's 160 right there. Oh man, that was rough. It was in the air sideways, man. I had no control over that one. Woo! Oh, turtle. That fan's about had it, bro. See how long that fan keeps going. Woo! There we go, baby. Oh my God. Wheelie out of it, baby. Let's go. Bro, this thing is just Oh, Matt must be around. Woo! There we go. Let's go, baby. Hell yeah. Don't know who that is with the oh, okay. Got it. Let's go, baby. Woo! Hell yeah. Woo! Wow, dude, that's 160, dude. We are I landed way beyond that, not way beyond, but in front of the third flag. That third flag is 160. Woo! Wow. Wow, dude. That had to be like 165. Turtle. Where? Oh, okay, that's what happened. I knew something was weird.
Dude, you're hitting at least 175 right now.
175?
I think not this time, but the
yeah.
time before that, I think you hit 175.
Dude, it's freaking launching, dude. Like, serious. I have never gone that far. Oh, I see what broke. Oh, there it is. I knew something. Okay, so the chassis is done, dude. Look at the chassis.
Yeah,
look at the chassis. Wow. So that's why it broke this off. I have an extra one of these at home, and that's why we don't have any rear support now. Cause look, oh, I can't even push that forward. That's oh yeah, and the dog bone's coming out.
Yeah.
Cause this is so bent. Oh, I see. Wow, it pulled this out too. Look. This is out and that's out. So this whole rear section is solid now, but then it pulled it right off of that. Oh, ow, that's hot. Maybe now I can bend it back a little bit. What? I don't need to carry it. Bro, but you know what, dude? That is the craziest sends I have ever done with this thing, dude. Ah. Listen to the fan, dude. Any minute now, that thing's gonna be gone. Yeah, so the chassis is bent. It is bent, son. I mean, I guess that's what happens when you make this solid. It's gonna pull it off of that.
I'm pretty positive you're at 175.
Wow, yeah, the chassis is done, dude. There's no going back now. All right, so we made it back to the shop with the KRATON V6. Well, I guess I should start off with, that's the furthest I've ever gone with any of my RCs. I did 175 feet that day. And honestly, I don't really know. Maybe it's just because I'm hitting the ramp with more speed than any of my other cars. But you know, they say nothing flies like a Typhoon, but Jesus Christ. This thing doing 175 feet is, I haven't done that with any of my cars except for this one. So yeah, I mean, so far right now, this KRATON V6 has turned into literally the one rig that I have that goes the farthest. And then also I have a video coming out soon where I used my GNSS performance analyzer on my fire team in order to record the height. But every time I had tried to do that before, I ended up breaking the GNSS performance analyzer. So I got to a point where I was like, I give up on trying to do this thing where I record the height. But what I did with the fire team was I double side taped it to the actual chassis here at the back, where there's really nowhere for the GNSS performance analyzer to go, and it's pretty much flat up against the floor of the car, so it survived. So hopefully soon I'll be taking this thing back out and recording some data as far as height. I'm hoping to get the same length and height that I got on this video, but actually get some data as to how far it actually went and how high it actually went. So what you're looking at here is actually the rebuild of this KRATON V6. This here is the build that it was on when you just watched that video. This is the Vitavon chassis, obviously in red. It had the Scorched RC Rotolock motor mount slash center diff setup here. So we ended up with, I'm not sure if you can see it. Sometimes it's hard for me to know exactly what the camera's looking at, but you can see that the chassis got bent down here at the back. And that's just a typical thing that happens with this ramp, man. I'll try to maybe on this video, now that for you that are watching, I'll try to put like a slow-mo of what happens to the car when it hits the ramp. It's a weird rebound thing that it does where it hits the ramp, it like bounces off the face of it at the beginning, and then the back end lifts off the ground, and then the back end hits the middle of the ramp again, and it's like it slams into it. So I am finally in the process of actually receiving a new ramp setup. It should be here Friday. So hopefully in the near future, I will have a different setup that won't do this to the chassis. But wanted to point out, and I know some of you guys out there are gonna hate on me or hate what I'm about to say, but this chassis did not break, regardless of how far it went. And it actually went further than anything else I've got, and it did not break. It bent, for sure it bent, but it did not break. So that's the old chassis with the old setup. This is the new setup. So with this one, I decided to go all ADU. It's got the ADU adapter for the rear tower, and then I noticed at the front adapter that goes for the top plate to the center diff is all one piece from ADU. And here's the thing, man, I've already gotten into it in social media with a couple guys about ADU. They're not American made, all that shit or whatever. I really don't care, man. You know, most of you watching this video right now are on a device that's made in China, and it is made with batteries, if you're not aware, that are mined by children. So no one has the moral high ground when it comes to, you know, the things we use from countries like China. Pretty much everything is made in China. And that's actually not the consumer fault. It's not our fault. That's actually the manufacturer's fault. You know, that's corporations, you know, need to make 10 million instead of 9 million, or 50 billion instead of 49 billion. It's never enough for them. So what do? They go across the pond and get things made cheaper so that they can make more money. So anyway, point is that I noticed that the ADU front adapter is all one piece. The rear adapter ties into the tower. So I'm not, like I've said 1,000 times, I never really know if these things are gonna work out better or worse. I just like to try them. I mean, that's the bottom line for me, man. I don't have any brand loyalty. I'm not sponsored by anybody. So I can just try things that I think may or may not work, see what the results are, and then you guys get to see it and know whether or not, you know, the setup works. Now, what I will say is the previous setup with the Rotolock, I wanted to mention this. I doubt he's watching, but if he is, Scorched RC, I do want to say that I made a video talking about how this Rotolock thing didn't work all that great because it doesn't mesh the pin to spur gear very well. But I was able to go through 3-4 batteries, and I had 0 pinion slash spur gear failures, along with any kind of motor failures or motor shaft failures that I had in that previous video. So at this point, I'd have to admit and, you know, make you guys, my audience, aware that that's not something that's always going to happen. Maybe it had to do with the setup, maybe it had to do with the actual gear itself. I'm not sure. It's not like I have 100 of these same exact cars with the same exact Rotolock to kind of compare. But what I can say is that the last time I had the Rotolock set up from Scorched RC, which is the one where it has the rotary mesh thing, it didn't last very long. It only lasted like 2 batteries, and it chewed up the pinion and the spur and broke the motor shaft. and you could tell it's because it wasn't meshing with the gear all the way. It was only meshing like with a third, and it was very hard to get the set screw in where the rotolock thing is. There's not enough space for you to push the pinion gear back into the motor shaft. Anyway, I went through that. If you want to check it out, one of my Kraton videos. But what I wanted to point out is, in case Scorched is watching, I have to sort of give an apology for the fact that I put that out there, and I should have given it another try before I put that out there, because really this second one that I did has 0 issues. But what I will say is, if you notice in the videos, in this video in particular, if you're paying attention, some people may not notice it, but the motor setup, for whatever reason, is really, really loud in comparison to almost any other rig I have. There we go. Nice. Oh. It has this crazy high-pitched whine, and it's not that the mesh is too tight, because I know that'll cause that too, but the mesh was fine the whole time. So that is unique to the rotolock setup. I don't really know why. I don't really care. I just wanted to point it out because someone might notice it and be like, why is it so loud? And I'm just letting you guys know that it's definitely the rotolock setup, because none of my other cars are that loud. But anyway, I've got this thing rebuilt, okay? It's all ADU now. ADU chassis, ADU top plate / adapter, which also has a bolt that goes through the front of the tower here, that ties that whole plate into the tower, as well as the rear has the 2 bolts. I actually modified this one to put 2 bolts in it. I'm not sure if you guys have it here, but there's 2 bolts in here that ties this chassis brace adapter to the bulkhead and then to the tower, and then obviously those 2 go to the center diff mount. But also, it's going to be hard to tell here, but the tower to chassis braces on this setup have a step to them. So the tower to chassis brace comes down to the chassis, and then the only thing holding that tower to chassis brace on the chassis is the bolt that goes through the chassis into the brace. But on the ADU setup, there's a step up, and then there's an extra plate that puts the tower to chassis brace on a step like this, kind of like that. It butts up against it. So then now you don't have only the bolt that goes through it to support it. And that's for the front and the rear chassis, tower to chassis brace. So that to me represents a little bit more support. So, but I don't know, again, I say this every time because, those things, my intuition says that that's going to give you more support, better durability, etc. But until you've run this thing and sent it 175 feet or 150 feet and at whatever mile an hour, you don't really know if it's going to work, because the forces that are involved with these things when you're hitting that ramp or coming down landing off the jump are just astronomical. Okay, I don't even know what they are, and I'd be really interested in figuring out a way to measure what the G-forces are at the ramp and at the landing. But I recently came across these little discs. Shout out to Don Julio Fishing. He referred me to these things. They're like a little disc that basically it just breaks when it hits a certain amount of G-forces. The problem is they sell them only in bulk of like 100, 300, 400 little discs at a time. So you'd end up spending like $500 on 5G discs, and then another 500 on 10G discs, and then another 500 on 15G discs, and so on and so forth. And I'm not going to spend thousands of dollars to buy little discs, just to figure out what the G-forces are. So unfortunately, that's not going to happen. But bottom line is that I'd be very, very, very curious. Just like the GNSS performance analyzer that measures height and speed. I've got the length, I've got the height, I got the speed. Now I'm interested in how many G's is this thing hitting when it goes off the ramp, and how many G's is it hitting when it lands on the ground. I wouldn't be surprised if it's something like 50 G's or 25 G's, something like that, because these things land so hard. I'm telling you, I wish you know, like they have, people say, I wish we had smell-o-vision so you can actually smell things. I wish we had like, I don't know, force-o-vision, you know, some way to get you guys to understand when I do 150 feet and I'm standing out and, you know, further away from the ramp so that I land next to myself, this thing lands on the ground and it shakes the ground. I mean, it's intense. So, but anyway, the bash was awesome. I mean, this thing has turned into just the most ridiculous high flying, you know, basically rig that I have. Nothing that I have has gone as far and as high as this thing. So, and then I also wanted to point out, like, the V6 KRATON with the 1650 kV motor from Hobby Wing, because this is the G2 setup. I have a geared 25-50. So with the 25 and the 50 gearing, I can still do standing backflips. Okay, it does 70 miles an hour or close to it. I can't remember now. I should probably speed run it again. I mean, it does 150 to 175 feet. You know, it doesn't overheat. I mean, just the setup is just, it's probably the most perfect balance between power and speed and torque and agility and just stuntability and, you know, sendability. I mean, to me, this KRATON has become like the best all around. Now, I will say that the only thing that beats it in terms of all around would be the Kagama 4 that I have on 6S, which I should say that it beats it in terms of the simplicity and the cost effectiveness. You know, so this KRATON V6 starting out is like $800, and then after you've done everything I've done, you're over 2,000, probably close to 2,500. But the Kagama 4 will do almost everything this thing does, except it won't go as far, jump as high, but it's, I don't know, 500 RTR, and then like a couple of things here and there you can get cheap from Jenny's RC, and it's just the same amount of fun, just not as extreme. But overall, this KRATON V6 has everything you want. I mean, everything. And so the close second would be the Kagama 4, and a close second to that, or maybe even third, maybe a tie for second, would be the Kagama that I have that's all ADU, that's fully built. That Kagama 6S on all ADU parts also has gone 150 feet, and that one also has the only chassis that hasn't bent. It is the only car that I have in the fleet that I have not had to rebuild since the day I built it, which I should be doing a video on that one pretty soon just to see. So anyway, the setup on the car, basically, if you don't already know, it's a Hobby Wing Max 6 G2 1650 kV motor running on 6S. It's got a stock V6 Arma servo. It's got the Just Bash It RC servo mount, Vidavon bell crank system, Scorched RC Bulkheads, which, like I've said 1,000 times, the Scorched RC Bulkheads are the best bulkheads, in my opinion, out there, period. They give you the most amount of room to set that pinion to ring gear mesh, which I probably need to do a video on that soon, so you guys really understand what you're doing and how to do it. And then, as always, my A, B, C, and D blocks are from Custom RC Upgrades. I'm going to try to leave a link to all these things in the description. A, B, C, and D blocks from Custom RC Upgrades. Pretty much, that's what I always go with all my armor cars. They're the best bang for the buck slash looks, you know, slash durability. I mean, there's really nothing left that you would want out of them. Obviously, it's got the Scorched RC hubs, which also, by the way, long term, these front hubs, rear hubs, I kind of don't, I mean, it's more of a simple thing here. Mechanically, it's just a hub and some bearings. But the Scorched RC hubs on the front here, they have these 3 bolts that hold it in. And I've got to say, man, after all the bashes I've had on this thing, okay, I have not had my pillow ball bolt unbolt from the arm. I haven't had these bushings loosen up. Bearings are still good. So, I mean, it's a more complicated setup for sure, just to get them on and installed. But I think I'm gonna start switching all of my 6S big trucks to this Scorched hubs, because for whatever reason they have just held up all together more. They've held up better. which again, I didn't know that until I tried them. Now that I've tried them, I can report back and say for sure, these things are just insane. Also, the turnbuckles are from Scorched RC. I actually had someone this morning asking me about where I got these. These are from Scorched RC, these turnbuckles, super, super beefy. I think that's probably helping in the aid in the durability. And then the towers I just redid. The rear is a GPM, the front is ADU. I'm gonna put the GPM one as soon as I get it in the mail. I'm still waiting. Shocks are just EXB V2 or EXB. Actually, the shocks are the V6 shocks. They're just the bladderless or the emulsion style shocks. But I do have M2C piston kits in them. I'll put those in the description as well. What else? Bulkheads, RC all-wheel drive diffs, front to back. I've been told a million times they're junk. I'm proving to you they're not. It's all about the setup. So I've got 1 million weight in the front, 20 million weight in the middle, and 500K in the rear. And these are the RC all-wheel drive EXB diffs, which comes with the LSD plates. What else? Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, stock servo. So yeah, the rest is just basically it's the ADU chassis that I did also. This is the ADU chassis that came. I just swapped it over. Oh yeah, the ESC plate is from M2C. Another one that's a staple of all my cars. Every single one of my 6S Armas gets this M2C ESC plate, and that's really just because it just makes things easy, man. You bolt this ESC plate to their chassis, and then you double side tape your ESC to the plate, and then you don't have to worry about it. The car's good. It's good. You know what I mean? And to me, one of the things I always try to focus on is simplicity of assembly and disassembly. So if I can make something work that is easy to take apart and easy to put back together, then I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna try to implement that as much as possible. I don't like something that's reliable but takes forever to remove and replace. I want a mix of the two. You know, I'll take a little bit of unreliability for the ease of removal and replace. So the M2C ESC plate makes that a reality because it's 4 bolts underneath. As long as you have everything cleaned up and you Loctite it, it'll be fine. It won't come apart or loose. And then as long as your mating surfaces are clean, the double-sided tape will do just fine. Let's see, that's it pretty much. Yeah. So I forgot about the Scorched RC titanium axles. It's got titanium all the way around. It's Scorched RC titanium front dog bone or front axles or CVs, whatever you want to call them, rear dog bones and center dog bones. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. She is ready to go. I do have a new ramp on the way. We got the fire team video in the works on the way. So stay tuned for the fire team. Stay tuned for the bash on this new setup with a new ramp. So anyway, guys, stay tuned. We got plenty more coming, plenty of builds, plenty of jumps, and plenty of videos, because now with this newer ramp, I will be pretty much resending everything and see how it works. So stay tuned, guys. Thanks to the viewers, thanks to all who have subscribed, and of course, as always, massive thanks to my wife for being super supportive, being all about it, and now she's bashing with me. So all right, guys, till the next one, keep on bashing.